Hello, what is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday. It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little stream for you lads and lasses. We are here to discuss the latest Man United news of the day. Got all the information for you legends right here in this concise cheeky little hour live stream, my friends. How are we all doing today? Thank you for waiting patiently for us to get going. How are you all going out there, guys? We've got some legends in here. What's going on? Fire Up, Kingslayer, the Don Gungshi, Jay, Mikhail Kramer. Oh yes, Sin Games, your absolute hero. Let's be having you. Johnny, United we stand. Yes, how you all doing, Mr. U? We've got a bunch of Dons and Donesses in here. Thank you very much for joining us, guys. Yes, we've got plenty to discuss, plenty to get into. Hello, the Hoop Man. Good to see you. Happy Sunday, mate. United Rules, Cass, Crazy Joe, Kingslayer. What's going on, Super Fat Frank? Oh, yes, indeed. MEFC fan. We got Disco Dave. Let's be having you, my son. Most High Overall, Johnny, William Reedy. Get in there, you legends. Kenkichi Otaka, how the devil are you doing, my son? Oh, yes, Kenkichi. Get in. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Oh, yes. Simon Cowie, good to see you today. CZ Bam, Claire Bayliss. Thank you, Claire. That's very kind of you to say. James, Matthew, Ahab, Hidden Element, and everybody else as well. Thank you very much for joining us for today's show. Yes, you could do us a favour at the start of this show if you want. Smash that like button. Give us a massive thumbs up at the start of this one. Drop a cheeky little like on it. That will help this stream out. And also give us a share around. I've pinned the tweet to the top of the live chat there. Go and give us a retweet. Also, share us around anywhere else you want to share us around. Absolutely, Sing Games. Smash a like, share, retweet, and subscribe if you're new. I couldn't have said it better myself, lad. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Oh, get in there, Boniface, as well. Kenkichi, yes, indeed, mate. Great signing this will be. So, obviously, yesterday we had the confirmation in the news that Manchester United had agreed a deal with Atalanta for Rasmus Højlund. We've got the Rasmus. So, he is now coming to Manchester United. Obviously, we've got the latest information in regards to that deal and the other goings on at the club also. But yeah, I mean, just to react to that a little bit more for a couple of minutes, it's obviously a great signing for us. It's obviously a great player who hopefully will go on to do pretty impressive things within the game of football. He's only 20 at this moment. I see a lot of rival fans already trying to slag this deal off on social media. I see a lot of Arsenal fans, City scummers, all two of them, Liverpool scumbags, etc., all saying that this is going to be a flop, that we paid too much money for this guy and that he's not proven. He's only got 9 goals, 11 assists and all that rubbish. I mean, that's quite decent for a young lad, to be fair. I mean, Berber was in this live stream yesterday putting in stats for Wayne Rooney's season before he came to Manchester United. And obviously, you've got to look at the progression of players. It's not just about what they're like when they're really young. They're going to get better, these guys. So he will develop into probably a goal-scoring phenom for us. And you've got to give him time. Everyone's out there slagging off this deal. Only time will actually tell whether or not this is a good deal for Manchester United. Time will tell whether or not it's good value, and time will tell whether he's going to be a success or a flop, or somewhere in between. But I personally feel like he will be a success because Ten Hag knows what he wants to do. He's highlighted this guy as somebody we should be going after, and he's prepared to spend a large portion of his transfer kitty on this guy. I mean, Ten Hag's spending at United now is in excess of 400 million. So since he's been here, he has been allowed to spend over 400 million, which just goes to show you the sort of level of faith that the board and everyone has in Erik Ten Hag at the club. But also now, this is finally, we can only just start to say this now, and we're still not even there yet. We've only starting to say that this is really, truly starting to be a Ten Hag squad. There's still a few players in here lingering on from the gash days before, which we need to move on. But it's only just getting to be a Ten Hag squad right now. So don't even judge him on last season. Let's judge him on the future and what he can do. But now there's going to be a little bit of pressure on because he's signing players like Rasmus Højlund for 80 million euros, etc., who are, we're expecting big things from, and he's got to try and get the best out of them now. So, but all I'm saying, the point I'm saying is just give this guy a chance, give Højlund a chance. I know United fans, most of us are prepared to do that, but there's a lot of rival melters out there, who are seemingly writing him off before he's even begun. And I find it pathetic, especially like when it's a Chelsea scummer or somebody who finished like 9 places below us last season or whatever, or a Tottenham fan or something. It's like, wind your necks in, peeps, you gash, So it's a lot of money. You know, look at this guy, 80 million. Wow, that's way more than Mount. Well, it is. You can count, my friend. Well done. You know, that's more than can be said for a lot of Arsenal supporters. So fair play to you, my son. But yes, you know, it is a lot more than Mount, but he's a striker with bags of potential. I mean, Mason Mount he only had a year left on his deal, you have to remember as well. And we overpaid for Mount, and we've overpaid for this guy. Now, look, let's not pretend that that's not the case. We've overpaid for Højlund. We've overpaid for Mount. Those players are not actually worth that, but you're basing it on a couple of different things. Obviously, the Mount situation is to get him from a rival. You've got to pay the United premium. You've got to pay the England premium. And then, obviously, with Rasmus Højlund, you've got to pay the amount of money to convince a club like Atalanta to sell such a great hot prospect, and in order to get our guy. I agree with you, Simon Cowie. The team slagging us off are jealous we got him, and he only wanted to join us. It's a sign they're all scared at what he can do. Spot on. You know, a lot of teams were interested in him. Certainly PSG were one of the most prominent ones that were interested in him. And he's decided that he wants to go and play for Manchester United rather than those farmers. So he's obviously got his head in the right place when it comes to United. And this is what we need. Players who want to be here, desperate to wear that red shirt. Get in there, my son. Rasmus Højlund, I feel it. I can feel it. There's a fizzing sensation going on in the downstairs mix-up department. And it seems to me like this guy is going to be a successful player in the future for Manchester United. You never know. There's always going to be an element of risk with every single signing. Things could go horrifically wrong, and there could be an injury. There could be an off-the-field incident. There could be anything that happens that derails a player. But just on paper, from what we've seen so far of the guy, his attributes, his mentality, the fact he wants to be here, and Ten Hag's faith in him and his age, etc. You know, he's obviously expected to go on to do some pretty awesome things. I've seen like people comparing Haaland and Højlund and their times before they've joined the Premier League, but it's not the same. It's really not the same situation at all. Yes, Haaland's a goal-scoring beast, but this guy's got a bit more about him to his overall game. And plus, it's just, I don't even want to compare them just because they got the same sort of name. It's bullshit. Sing Game says we got 69 likes. 69 dudes. Thank you so much, everyone, for hitting that like button. Do continue to smash that like button and help this stream get to 100 of your English likes. Or not necessarily English likes, global likes, whatever. But yes, please do smash that like button if you haven't done so. Haaland is an exception. He's a robot. Well, do you know why he's so good, actually, CZ Bam? It's because he is literally channeling the ghost of Vigo the Carpathian, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why. He's not a regular human being. He has spirits possessing his earthly body. That's what's going on there, mate. We're just waiting for Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray and co to rock up. And then they'll exorcise the demons, you know, and send him back into that painting, mate. That's what we're hoping for, bud. But obviously, that hasn't happened yet. But at some point soon, that may happen. You know, ever since Haaland has actually come to Manchester City, I don't know if you realise this, but underneath Manchester, there has been a flow, guys, in the sewers. A flow of pink slime. I don't know if you know this. But that's been the case. And until he has actually been, you know, captured and sent back to the painting, that's going to be the case for a while. And unfortunately, we just got to put up with it for now. So, you know, Haaland obviously is a very good player, but he's possessed by some sort of spirit. That's the reality here. Goodness me. Well, guess what? You know, they've got Vigo the Carpathian. We might be finally selling the Stay Puffed Marshmallow Man. Harry Maguire might be doing one soon, and then we could go against somebody else, can't we? Goodness me. Anyway, okay, so we've got a few ghosts to get out of here, right, guys, including that Slimer guy as well. Let's just say that's Fred. You know what I mean? Let's say that's Fred. We've got a few players to get rid of, obviously, in this summer window. But anyway, look, don't worry about what City are doing. I'm not bothered about what City are doing. At some point, they're going to have to face the music of being punished for all of their indiscrepancies over the years and their outright filth-bag cheating. You know, City are just outright cheats. They are the definition of somebody cheating off somebody's exam paper next to them. That's who they are. Or they're like, I don't know, they're just grubby cheats, and they need to be punished legitimately very soon. So I'm just waiting for that day that they get sacked off to League Two, and then we can start moving on with our lives again, you know, and they have their titles rescinded away from them. But anyway, so let's get into the news then, guys. Let's get into the latest news. But yes, Haaland is some sort of a cyborg melter, isn't he? He does wind me up. He's very good. I just hope he gets snapped soon. It's a shame that Roy Keane doesn't have a son playing for Manchester United that could come in and snap him, you know, because that's kind of what we need, is somebody to go in and just stick the old Keano spirit on him. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, right, guys, so let's talk about the latest news and goings on in regards to Højlund and what could potentially be happening. So, as we've understood, obviously, we've got the deal agreed with Atalanta's, no issues there. And Fabrizio this morning said that Manchester United will start preparing documents and paperwork today in order to get Rasmus Højlund deal signed and sealed early next week. Højlund already spoke more than 3 times to Erik Ten Hag, and he's ready to sign until June 2028, plus the option till 2029. So, I think we've got to also credit big old stone cold Erik Ten Hag for getting a lot of these players to the club as well. So all of the players that we've signed since he's been here are all Ten Hag players. I mean, Martinez, we love Martinez. He's like a smaller Argentinian version of Nemanja Vidic or something. He's actually so good, and he's so tenacious. And he's got some serious bollocks about him, the Butcher. We love him, don't we? I absolutely love the Leecher. And that's all Ten Hag. It's all Ten Hag. And same is for this guy as well. You know, Rasmus Højlund, it's largely Ten Hag. I'm sure, look, if he wants to play for Man United, the club's got a certain pull and a certain draw, a huge draw. Let's be honest, it's one of the biggest clubs in world football. But also Ten Hag being here and just having that project and that style of play, and obviously he's you know, he's had a big factor in Rasmus Højlund coming to Manchester United. We've got to give Erik Ten Hag a lot of credit for the overall signings that he's made. He was actually asked earlier this morning, there's a video from Sky Sports that they were asking him, you know, what his thoughts are on Rasmus Højlund. He said he can't really talk about it right now because obviously he's not a United player yet. He's not signed, but when he is, he will talk about him, obviously. And he obviously very much so rates him very highly, because he wouldn't be prepared to spend so much of his transfer budget this summer on this player if he didn't. Avram Glazer sent in a $2 super chat. Can we just get some hashtag Glazers outs for this absolute toss bag who's getting in the live chat here? Avram Glazer, what's your problem, mate? Glazers deserve another chance. They should stay. I mean, as I've said yesterday, the fact that they've spent another 180 million or whatever so far this summer and on us continuing to do business doesn't change the fact at all for me that these tossers are running this club in a very negative way, and we're being left behind in all departments, apart from maybe the spending money on transfers department. We do spend money on transfers because that's their way of showing the fan base that they're actually doing something and spending money, and obviously they want to keep the team relatively competitive, to keep that cash coming in for them and the Champions League money and the ability to generate commercial deals by using Manchester United's brand. And it's important for them to have Manchester United's brand in the pantheon of the greats with the Champions League competition. So that's why that these tossers obviously want to spend money at this stage. I mean, it's a strange one. They're still here. Talks of them selling the football club have been going on for a long old time. Are they going to stay or are they going to go this season? Will it rage on into next summer? Will it rage on just for another couple of weeks? And eventually will we get Sheikh Jassim into the club? I mean, only time will tell on that one. So far, I'm surprised they're still here. I would have expected them to have gone sometime during the summer. And I am very surprised that they are spending big money in this summer transfer window so far, because obviously it's not the sort of done thing when an owner is prepared or getting ready to sell a football club. You don't expect them to go out there and spend big money on players like Rasmus Højlund and Mount and Onana and these guys. You would expect them to leave that to the next owners if they are selling up. So it is very strange. Listen, I'd love to tell you that they're going soon, but we know what they're like. They have actually got the stranglehold on this club for years and years and years. And they've flirted at the possibility of getting rid and selling the club for a long time. And they still haven't done it. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. Let's ask the live chat, though. Do you think that by, let's say, the end of 2023, do you think they will be gone? Or do you think they'll stay by the end of 2023? Obviously, it's not going to happen before the season starts. But will it happen before the end of the year? Let us know. Will they stay or will they be gone? Lanky86, get in there, you legend. He says, Glazers out. Yes, sirree. Hello there, Orlando Arellano. Great to see some of you legends in here. Thank you for joining us. All of you legends, I should say. V-Born wants Sir Jim. I mean, Sir Jim is not my ideal candidate, to be fair. He could be another Glazer merchant. But he's also got to be better than those Glazer shithouses. The Glazers have left us behind in very many areas. Surely if Sir Jim comes in, he's got to do things like improve the infrastructure around the football club, actually have some ambition in regards to, stadia and stuff like that. You would think that that's what we'll be doing if we get new owners in. They can't just come in and keep things ticking over the way they are. The infrastructure and everything has to have mass improvement. So whoever comes in, surely they'll have to appease the fan base by spending quite big in all areas early doors. And as I've said, Man United don't necessarily need a super billionaire sugar daddy rich owner, because Man United is a self-sustaining beast where we generate a heck of a lot of our own commercial revenue, and therefore if we had the right owners who manage the club well, we can sustain ourselves and still be one of the most competitive teams in the world because of just the amazing support that there is out in the globe for this from this fan base. It's a pretty exceptional club in that sense. But obviously we would like a super rich multi-billionaire to come in and buy everybody that we want and to improve the stadium and everything. Of course, that's what we want. Hello there, Eddie's Football Waffle. What's going on, you Don? He says, greeting Pigo and everyone. It looks like they may be investing this in some backing they are giving the manager. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely backing the manager. And as I said, like, it may not indicate that they're not going anywhere. Like, they may still be going. It's just a case of now that they want a little bit more. They've spent 180 million on players so far, so they want, from Sheikh Jassim, an extra 180 million. You know, that might be the case. You know, you have to factor that in as well. So it's always been the case and understood that they just want as much money as they could possibly get. Lee thinks they'll be gone by the end of the new year. Bruce says they'll be gone by the end of the new year. Everyone's saying gone by the end of the year. I hope you're absolutely right. Still be here, says Mark. Stay, says CZ and Kingslayer. Gone, says Mark. Gone, says Langy. Yeah, I mean, I hope most of you guys are right there and they will be out of this club very, very soon. But anyway, to answer your point, the reason I started talking about these Glazer shithouses is just because somebody said it's obviously strange that they are doing the business at the moment. And I am a little bit confused as to why they're spending so much. But it's good that they are, because United need these players to come in here and help Ten Hag this season and give us what we need. So far, he's got his goalkeeper to transform the way that we play. He's got another midfielder in Mason Mount, who's a bit of a meh signing to me, ex-Chelsea scummer. You know, doesn't really rev my engine too much, but Ten Hag wanted him. And then obviously Rasmus Højlund is an actual proper striker, young baller. And we haven't signed a player like that since like Wayne Rooney, to be fair, who's like such a young talent who could go on and do great things. Usually Man United, if you look at what we've been doing over the last few years, we're always signing like older players, big name players, you know, people like Edinson Cavani, Cristiano Ronaldo, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. We're signing big name players, but they're totally different types of players. I think finally United are doing it the right way, where we're actually building for the future, not just now, but for the future, and we're not just looking for a short-term stopgap. We've actually invested a large amount of money in a young player here, so we're doing things in a different fashion, which is great to see, obviously. Okay, let's get back into the Højlund updates and the latest Højlund stuff. So keep smashing that subscribe. We're only 19 away from 72.6k subs. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Continue to smash that like button on this stream as well. Let's get this sucker to 150 likes. If you haven't hit the like already, it's free and it helps the channel out. So please do twat that like button. Okay, so Fabrizio says that Man United will start preparing documents and paperwork today in order to get Rasmus Højlund deal signed and sealed early next week. Højlund already spoke more than 3 times to Erik Ten Hag, so we're hoping he's going to be in by the Lens game. We've got a game, obviously, pre-season. We've got one on the 5th and one on the 6th, but we're hoping he'll be in for the Lens game, or the Lens game, I should say, in order to play against them and just get a game before the season actually starts. Avram Glazer 1516 says, Glazer's in, Qatar sick face. Definitely not tackle a ball. Right. Nice one. Thank you very much for that. Nice picture you chosen there. Is that I think that's illegal to actually have that picture, though, on YouTube, mate. I mean, you know, you shouldn't have a picture of a ball bag as your avatar, mate. That is a little bit suspect, to be fair. But anyway, Avram Glazer, thank you very much for your super chat there. Now get out, lad. Hashtag Glazers out. Scumbags. Picture of a ball bag on the screen there. I apologise for that, guys. Okay, so the next updates we've got in regards to Højlund. Let's just cover what we've got going on here, guys. So, yes. Højlund medical. We're expecting that the Højlund medical is going to be very soon. Could well be tomorrow. There's a few finalisations that are taking place. Obviously, Manchester United are prepared to book a medical for Rasmus Højlund. After the agreement sealed with Atalanta, Højlund will sign a contract valid until June 2028 with an option for a further year. Clubs will exchange documents in the next 24 to 48 hours. So, hopefully within the next 24 to 48 hours as well, we will see Rasmus Højlund conducting that medical and soon to be announced as a Manchester United player. Could well be tomorrow. I've got a feeling he might be flown in tomorrow. Could be Tuesday, I suppose. But very early in the week, we're looking to complete this transfer. I mean, I don't even want to think about the eventuality that, or the possibility that he fails his medical at this stage. We're not talking about that. It's very rare that that happens. He's expected to fly in reasonably soon and have his medical, obviously, which will be great for us. And it's basically all done. It's just pending a medical, isn't it? We've just got to get this medical done. The agreement is in place. He's obviously agreed on a 6-year deal, 5 years initially with an extra option for a year. He wants to join United. He's super keen. He's agreed to join based on obviously the terms that we've proposed. And it's just Man United have to complete that medical and go through the paperwork and the finalisations. This says if you're wanting to hear that the Rasmus Højlund deal is agreed pending a medical, then you're very close to getting your wish. So he's very, very much soon a United player. Just obviously got to complete that medical soon, and we're expecting that probably will be tomorrow. But have to wait and see, obviously. And here's another update there from Hurst, who says that should there be no hiccups with the paperwork or Rasmus Højlund's medical, he will complete his transfer this week and could make his Man United debut against Lens at Old Trafford or against Athletic Bilbao the following day in Dublin. So we do have 2 games coming up early August, one on the 5th, one on the 6th. And so he should be available to play in one of those games. Hopefully the Lens game at Old Trafford would be nice to unveil him, in front of the home crowd. But let's ask the live chat, guys. Smash a 1 in the live chat if you think he will be ready to play, featuring in that matchday squad in some capacity for the Lens game. Let us know your thoughts. Smash a 1 if you think that is the case. Smash a 2 if you don't think Man United have got the bollocks to be able to complete this deal before then. But I think, based on the fact we've already got that agreement in place now, and we're just pending a medical and some paperwork to be done, give it 2 or 3 days max. 2 or 3 days maximum from now, and he should hopefully be here holding the shirt next to Erik Ten Hag, signed on the dotted line, etc. All the paperwork's processed, medical pass, and then ready to feature and represent Manchester United. Lots of ones coming to the live chat. Eamon thinks we may be slow. I mean, stranger things have happened than Man United taking a long time from this point on to be able to, get a deal over the line. But shouldn't be a problem. Peter says 3, 0.5. 1 says Danny, 2 says United. Okay, fair enough. Depends when payday is, says 10 games, right? Yeah. Ice Queen Gaming, good to see you today. She says, yes, we will get him in there. That's great. 2, he'll have a run out in Dublin. Okay, fair play, DJ Disco Daves. That could well be the case as well. Maybe won't be the Lens game. Maybe it'll be the Atletico Bilbao game. Sheikh Hadi says, all these signings, do you think Erik Ten Hag or Murtaugh masterclass, Piggy? Ten Hag. No, I know obviously Murtaugh's, we've got probably better people in place than we necessarily did with Eddie Woodward, etc. But let's be real. I still think they're a bunch of Glazer yes men. And we look at the signings that have been made at United since Ten Hag's been here, and they're all Ten Hag guys. Yeah, okay, we've done reasonably well to actually get the deals done. Ten Hag's not specifically doing all the behind-the-scenes negotiations, but he's highlighting the players that he wants, and he's getting them to come. It's understood he's had a few conversations with Rasmus Højlund in the lead up to us signing this guy. So obviously he's having a big hand in these players wanting to come to Manchester United. And the same can be said for all of the signings last year, really. People like Anthony at Ajax, obviously Martinez at Ajax, Malacia. A lot of these guys would have been coming because, and solely because of Erik Ten Hag, really. Some others will be coming for the lure of Manchester United. Casemiro, etc., knows what a great, fantastic club this is. But I certainly think Ten Hag is the main reason why we're getting transfers done. Of course, the recruitment team do need a little bit of credit, I suppose, for actually getting them done. It's not like they have done nothing here. They obviously are doing some work behind the scenes to get these deals done over the line. But Ten Hag's highlighting these guys, and Ten Hag's having a big hand in actually bringing these guys in. But yes, I mean, we're doing better in terms of recruitment than we were a few years ago. I think that has to be said. We're signing, finally, the right sorts of players, the right sorts of players who are the right sort of age, who can have big futures, and who are not just like big names that we're bringing in to sell shirts or to open up a market in a different country or Uruguay or wherever it may be. You know, we're actually signing in players to build a foundation here at the football club and to play a certain way. All of the signings we've made this summer so far are players that Ten Hag would do well with in his system. So we're signing systematic players. We're not just signing players because they're there and available or because we should sign them on paper. You know, like Harry Kane. Obviously, I'd still like to bring in Harry Kane. But obviously, Ten Hag feels like Højlund is his main go-to guy because of the way that he plays his football, the way that he's got the super pace, he can press from the front, the build-up, etc. So he's obviously, no, you know, we're not just signing players based on reputation is what I'm saying. We're signing players based on what they can do and who they are in terms of what Ten Hag wants for his system. And all of the players we've signed so far are Ten Hag players. Thank you, Kerry E. He says agreed. Thank you so much there, Kerry E. lad, for agreeing with me. Thank you there, Daniel Palmer, for subscribing to the channel. Nice one, Daniel. If you guys are new to this channel, please do hit that subscribe button, get yourself involved. DJ Superfly says, yes, Greenwood definitely needs to be up front this season. I told you, didn't I, guys? Didn't I tell you? We were talking about this yesterday. But people were coming in here and saying, oh, did you see the story about Adidas saying that they would back Mason Greenwood? I said it was all bullshit, that story. And Adidas has since come out and said that they would never, make a plea or ploy to Manchester United and dictate who or why or how they should play their team, basically, or who they should bring in. So it's just absolute bullshit. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the Mason Greenwood situation today. He probably will be brought back into the side at some point because of, you know, the fact that the Glazer shithouses have no morals and he's a great player, even though he's a bit of a scummer by all accounts. He probably will be brought into the side because the Glazers then don't have to go and sign another forward player. We don't have to go and sign another striker if Mason Greenwood's brought in. So I am annoyed about that, but you just knew it coming from the Sun that it was an absolute BS story, guys, and anybody that actually believed it's talking nonsense. Ten Hag said himself he can't really talk about it right now. He said he can't really give his opinion on the matter. It's above Eric Ten Hag. This is a PR club shitstorm stance at the moment. If we, you know, it's above Eric Ten Hag. There's so many factors to it. I'm not getting into it. I'm not getting into the Greenwood stuff today, guys. It's annoying. You know, we'll find out sooner or later. I personally don't think he should be playing for us ever again, really, because of the PR nightmare that it brings on Man United's doorstep. Other than that, you know, it's not down to me, it's not down to you, it's down to the Man United's board, it's down to the club to decide whether or not it's going to hurt or hinder the football club. Or it could even hurt the squad, as I say, for squad harmony purposes. Exactly, Langy. It's just too annoying, isn't it? Too political. I can't be bothered to get into it today. We had a big debate about it yesterday. It's very polarizing of a topic. A lot of people want him to stay. A lot of people want him to go. I want him to go. That's how I feel about it. You know, you're not going to change my mind. But, you know, it's down to the club. We won't know until the club has actually decided what to do. And when they do, none of us are going to be able to do anything about it. You can protest, you can chant, you can be unhappy about it, or you can be happy about it, but we're not going to be able to do anything about it. So it's down to the club to decide. They will make the decision that they see best fit, and we'll let you know as and when that happens. Completely agree, Christy J. Get this club gone and sell it to Qatar. Absolutely, lad. 330 legends in here right now. Good to have you all in here. Thanks for getting the chat. We always have a big Q&A at the end of the stream as well. So, you know, if you're wondering why I'm not reading out all the comments, I've got a bit to cover in terms of the news, which we're going to cover in the next few minutes. And then, obviously, at the end of the video, we'll have a big Q&A. So hang out for that. It is also a fully interactive show. We always get in and out of the live chat and see what you legends are saying. So make sure you get your thoughts and opinions in throughout the show. And, of course, hit the subscribe button. We're only 15 subscribers now away from 72.6k subscribers. Great news, obviously, coming out at the moment. Man United actually doing business, and it has been a pretty exceptional summer so far. We've obviously got to wait till the season starts and wait till the transfer window finishes at the end of August to say how good this transfer window actually is. But so far, you know, it's a 6 out of 10. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. What's your rating for the transfer window so far? So far, I'll give it a 6.5 actually, because we've got Højlund who's going to be an excellent striker for us, hopefully, and that was the biggest problem area of the team that we needed to address. The goalkeeper's a good signing, Mount's a reasonable signing, Johnny Evans is a cheap replacement, hopefully, for Harry, who we can sell. But I don't think it's any higher than a 6 or a 6.5 at the moment, because we still need a couple more players, don't we? We still got to go and get another forward player, really, to bolster our options if Greenwood's not going to be brought back into the side. Amrabat is another player. Obviously, we'll get onto that in a few minutes, who we should be trying to bring in. If we get him, that will push the rating of the transfer window up. There's even talks of maybe a suitable replacement to come in if Harry Maguire does actually go. So, and it's also dependent on what transfers we do on the way out as well. People actually leaving this football club, i.e. Slabo Maguire and guff bags like that. If we can get these players gone, then that'd be brilliant. Okay, so there is so let's get back into the news then. So there should be no hiccups with the paperwork or Højlund's medical. Hopefully, there is not going to be any surprises there, and he will be announced as a United player early in the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime around about then. There's some news here that says that Rasmus Højlund's medical is scheduled in the next few hours, and then a club statement. This is BS. This is BS. It's not been scheduled just yet, obviously, but it will be being scheduled soon. So I think that's just BS, that story there. But there you go, from what I've seen and heard. But Manchester United should hopefully have a medical tomorrow, maybe, for the guy. He could be flying in as early as then. So hopefully that's the case, guys, and we see Højlund come in very, very soon. So that's the Højlund medical stuff. Tomorrow it's expected he'll fly in for a medical. If not, it should be Tuesday, and then it will be done just pending that medical. So very soon this guy will be a United player. Get in there, my son. And then just on some other players that we are trying to get rid of. So Henderson, there's a bit more news on Henderson today. Henderson news is as such that Nottingham Forest will sign only one goalkeeper this summer, and it's between Matt Turner and Dean Henderson. Forest already asked Arsenal for final conditions of a Turner deal, and it will be a permanent transfer. So, I mean, we've always heard that Nottingham Forest have this strong interest to sign Dean Henderson from us. We want to get him off of our books. The problem with Dean Henderson is, you know, for the type of goalkeeper that he is on quite big cash. I think he's on 130 grand a week. Can't believe we signed him based on that when we had De Gea at the club as well on big money. So he's just a backup, being paid 130k a week at the moment. He is a good goalkeeper. Hopefully Nottingham Forest are going to come in and have a transfer bid for him. There's talks of maybe a loan with an option to buy. They're probably a little bit, concerned about paying his wages, though. That's it. I mean, that is a lot of money to pay to a goalkeeper for wages. We're doing it because we're fools, and we pay loads of different players way more money than they're actually worth. But for Forest, for a team like Forest, who are, let's face it, relegation candidates, it's a heck of a lot of money to get yourself, tied into for a good few year contract when they could be back down in the Championship next season. You never know. So, yes, I mean, they may be put off a little bit by that. I think Henderson is probably the best goalkeeper that they can realistically get right now, though. So, we'll see. That will play out over the coming days, but it's understood that they will sign only one goalkeeper, and that will be between Matt Turner and Dean Henderson. Hopefully Dean Henderson does go, because he's another player that can generate us cash, especially if it's a permanent transfer. Obviously a loan gets him off of our books and saves us a bit of cash and maybe gives us a small fee up front, but certainly a permanent transfer could generate us as much as, I don't know, £20 million. How much do you think Dean Henderson's worth, guys, in this current market? Maybe less than that, though. As I say, his wages are quite high, and it's like the whole Maguire scenario all over again. People are saying we should be asking for 30 or 40 million for Maguire, but people forget he's on huge money, he's on huge wages, which means that it lowers his overall transfer fee, because it puts off prospective buyers wanting to purchase him because of how much they have to pay over the course of a contract. So I think you guys in the live chat there are spot on there, really. 15 million probably. 15 to 20 million. 20 million is the absolute top end, but 15 million probably is quite realistic. It's better than nothing, isn't it? Get rid of this guy, move him on, get the cash, reinvest it. It would make sense. Cass says 15, Nikolai says 15. Thank you, Gatu. So we have got an immense community around here, lad. Henderson 20 mil says Gregory. Burke 15 says Henrik. You want Henderson to stay, says Veddrawn. Wow, okay. Well, I mean, I don't. But each to their own. The thing is, we don't need him anymore, do we? We really don't need him. We've got Onana. Andre Onana's come in. He's a big money goalkeeper who's going to obviously take that number one spot as his own this season. That's why we spent so much money on him, because he's going to be the guy. And then beyond that, you've got Heaton as a backup. You've got some, Kovar as a backup. We might even be trying to sign another goalkeeper. So there is some reports that we're keen on Bayender as well. We're keen on Bayender as a backup goalkeeper signing. There was talks of Zion Suzuki. There's a few different goalkeepers that we've looked at and talked about maybe that United could go and sign on the cheap as a backup. So I really don't think we've got the intention to keep hold of Henderson. I mean, he is a decent goalkeeper, though. Don't get me wrong. He is good, but he's not worth paying 130 grand a week to as a backup. Doesn't make sense. We don't need him. I'd rather Heaton as a backup, and Andre Onana just takes the mantle as the main goalie, obviously. There, my son. Thank you there, Mr. DGA Fun Fit for Work. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you. Primot says, how much does he bring in when he's tipping off the press pre-matches? That's a great point as well, Primot. You know, he's supposed to be some sort of, what's the word, like a bit of a mole in the dressing room, not the most positive influence within the dressing room. I mean, look, here's a picture that we saw yesterday. Read into this what you want, but I've got to show it again. Picture yesterday of the lads on tour. There's Henderson on the right. Everybody else is beaming, laughing their heads off, having a nice smile. Look at Henderson, the miserable bastard over there, mate. Looks like he's a primp. He looks like he's a prisoner. Look, there he is on the right. You see him? There he is, sat there on the right behind Brandon Williams. Miserable as you like. He's looking at Harry Maguire wearing his icon hat, sat in front of the melt. That just absolutely cracks me up. Harry Maguire literally sat in front of the melt. You can't get any better than that. That is absolutely immense. He sat in front of the melt, guys. Look at that. Harry Maguire in front of the melt wearing an icon hat. It doesn't get any better than that, guys. But anyway, there's Henderson, the miserable bastard. That's all I'm saying. Clearly, he needs to go. Clearly needs to go. Sat in front of the melt. You can't write this stuff. Anyway. Right, guys, we've nearly got 150 likes, by the way. We've got 339 people in here watching. You what? That's the Harry Maguire level of liking right there, guys. Everyone, take a second to like Spike. Give us a like on this video. Every little like helps, and it helps us compete with corporations and also people who pump out clickbait guff. So get yourself involved by smashing that like button. It's free and it takes a second. And also, if you're new, you should be subscribing because we're on here every single day giving you the latest news in a no bullshit way. Thank you for liking the video there, V-Born. Nice one. Anyway, so yes, Henderson has been rumoured as leaking stories in the past or leaking team news in the past. Whether or not that's true, who really knows? It's all kind of speculative. But he has been, essentially rumoured to do such things, and we don't need a player like that around the gaff, do we? Be better to get rid of a mole like that. Oh, Luke Powell says, all right, Pig, well happy with the new signing. Henderson looks like a bulldog who's just licked piss off a stinging now. He does, doesn't he? He doesn't look happy at all there. I know, I'm really happy with the new signing. Obviously, Højlund's a great signing, and the goalkeeper signing is obviously going to transform us as well, and should hopefully be really great. People were trying to write that guy off already as well. A lot of rival fans slagging Højlund off, but also slagging Onana off, saying, oh, look at that first goal against Real Madrid the other day. For a start, it was offside. So it shouldn't have even counted. If it was in the Premier League, it would have been ruled off. And secondly, he's only just come in. That was his first 5 minutes in the United shirt, and he had a pretty excellent game other than that. So I don't think we got anything to worry about in regards to Onana. I just got to give him time. Mate, thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel there, United 90. Top man, that's awesome. Benjamin Bessemer, thanks for your highlighted member comment and being a member for 19 months now, bud. That is legit. Dude, thanks so much. He says, good afternoon, Piggy. How are you doing? I'm doing very well, as it may or may not be my birthday. Go on, happy birthday to Benjamin Bessemer, everybody. Let's get some birthday cakes in there. Happy birthday, my man. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for getting in here on your birthday, lad. He says, regarding the fridge and Henderson, I'd say 20 million. Thank you so much. I completely concur with you. I think probably 20 million tops for Henderson. And at least 20 million for Maguire, but 20 to 25 million for Maguire. No more than 25 million. We're actually having a laugh if we think we're going to get 30 or 35 million for Maguire. It would be amazing business from United if we can, but I don't see it. He's on too much money for the player that he is. These teams have to factor that in to the transfer offer that they're making. They've got to look at his overall contract, his length of his contract they will demand, which will be at least 3 years, probably 4 years. And if he's on 200 grand a week, that's 10 million a year. So they're paying 40 million pounds extra, as well as the transfer fee, over a 4-year contract to him, which means that if he costs 20 million quid, Maguire's overall cost is 60 million pounds to a club, and he's 30. So it doesn't really make sense for anybody to go and pay 30 million pounds to the guy, I don't think. 20 million and then a few-year contract makes the most sense here. Get him off of our books. I mean, I would have snapped West Ham's hand off there in a heartbeat if we could have sold him for 20 mil, if they'd genuinely offered that, which all the reports said they did. Ornstein and Fab said that we rejected the 20 million pound offer. So, I would have absolutely snatched their hand off, mate. We can't ask for much more than that, I don't think. There's lots of people saying 40 million. Those people are living in cloud cuckoo land, if you ask me. He's on 200 grand a week and he's shite. That's a bad combination. So it's actually amazing to get rid. It's like people saying, oh, we wouldn't accept 25 million for Martial. We would, because he's on 200 grand a week and he's an injury-prone gash merchant himself. So, you know, you've got to be realistic here and try and get some of these guys off our books, generate the cash, clear up the wages, and be able to reinvest that in other players. I mean, if we sold Maguire for 20 and Henderson for 15 and Fred for 15 and McTominay for 30 and these guys, that's the best part of, say, signing another huge player like a Harry Kane or someone. So certainly I agree, Benjamin Bessemer. I'd accept 20 million for both of those guys in a heartbeat. And happy birthday to you, my son. Have a great day, lad. Get in there, you beautiful man. And Simon Cowie with a super chat. Thank you, Simon, for your super chat, lad. He says, Pig, Fred will leave and Amrabat will come in. And that will be the end of our summer window. Simon Cowie, come on, lad. I feel like you're, you know, being a little bit pessimistic there. Surely we can get rid, at least, of one or two melters. Maybe signing players-wise, you might be right there. I could see United signing Amrabat and then that's it. Amrabat, we'll get onto Amrabat in a minute. We have got a little bit on Amrabat as well to cover in this video, but we'll get onto Amrabat in a moment. But yes, I mean, I think maybe you're right in terms of coming in. I don't think we'll have many more players come in beyond Rasmus Højlund and Amrabat, but I do think we'll get Amrabat. But then beyond that, I see us sending a couple more players, actually. I do. I think Fred will go. Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right there. But beyond that, I think we can sell one or two more players. Surely, if there is any sort of negotiation still to be had with West Ham, we should try and get a couple more million out of them for Harry Maguire and let him go. It would be mad to keep Harry Maguire. I mean, let's ask the chat, guys. Keep or sell Harry Maguire for, say, £22 million. Keep or sell Harry Maguire for £22 million. Surely, if there's any club interested in Maguire for more than 20 million, even a penny more, we should sell him. So I think he could still be going. And then, other than that, McTominay still wanted by West Ham. That could be a good source of revenue for us to generate 30 million, say, because he is a decent player. He's in his late 20s and he's still, you know, still got a lot to give a good mid-table side. He's a good player, and obviously he's got that Scottish connection with David Moyes. So I could see West Ham maybe looking for a suitable replacement for Declan Rice there and coming in and giving us 30 mil for McTominay. So some reports the other day saying United wanted 75 million combined for McTominay and Maguire. Not going to happen. 50 million's way more likely, which is 20 million for Maguire, 30 million for McTominay. And that's because McTominay's younger and on less wages, which means that the transfer money can be bigger. You know, obviously Maguire's on too much money, which means that his transfer fees going to be lower. Thank you, Simon. But I hope we can get rid of 3 more players. I'd say, I don't know, Bailly's obviously still in contention to leave. Henderson's still in contention to leave. Fred and McTominay, those guys are still in contention to leave. If we're really lucky, maybe a Saudi club might come in for Tony Martial, but I don't see it because of how much he's paid weekly and how much of an inconsistent injury-prone player he is. Just do not see it myself. Hey, we got a super chat from Zayn Miassi. What's going on? Zayn, thank you for your super chat here. What's happening, bro? He says, who is a riskier signing, Højlund or Havertz? If Højlund is worth that much, Balogun must be worth 90 to 10. Do you see Neymar linked to Arsenal, the Brazilian connection? Goodness me. We need a facepalm emoji. I need to get that Captain Picard Star Trek facepalm emoji, especially for Zayn Miassi, don't I? We need to get one. Remind me, guys, to get a facepalm emoji for when Zayn's in the chat. Who's a riskier signing, Højlund or Havertz? Blatantly Havertz, mate. Havertz you spent £65 million on, and he's proven to be pretty crap in the Premier League. I don't understand the fixation with Havertz. Never have done. He was all hype over in the Bundes, came over to the Premier League and has been gash, and now you've signed a gash player for 65 mil. Personally think that he's riskier. For a start, Højlund's younger. Højlund has, you know, bags of potential. In terms of an asset, he'll probably only appreciate in value over the coming years as well. I don't understand the Havertz deal for Arsenal. I think, okay, fair enough, add him to your squad if he's available for a reasonable price, but 65 million, you've paid way more money than he's actually worth there. Arsenal are seriously spunking the cash this season on players, you know, that are well overpriced. All of their signings they've paid too much money for, if you ask me. Declan Rice is an absolute calamity signing for 105 million. He's a great player, and fair enough, he's going to be good for you, but he's not worth anywhere near that. And Havertz, crikey, I'll give you about 30 mil for that twat. I mean, you paid 65 million for the guy. So I think that's a bigger risk because of how much you've actually invested in him, and he's proven to be guff in the Premier League. There you go. That's my opinion. Is Højlund worth that much? If Højlund's worth that much, Balogun must be worth 90 to 10. Well, I mean, I doubt it. I doubt it, Zayn Miassi. I mean, how many goals did Balogun get last season? I mean, obviously he is a good player, to be fair. He's a good young player, but he's not worth that much money, Zane. I doubt. I mean, who knows? Who knows? In this current market, it's crazy, but you're being pretty mental there, I think. You're just looking at the signings you've made. I mean, you're saying if Højlund is worth that much. Well, if Rice is worth that much, then then maybe he is. You know, look at your own players and how much you spent on your own players at this moment. Did I see the Neymar link to Arsenal, the Brazilian connection? The Neymar link to Arsenal. Do you know what, Zane? I hope you get Neymar. I really do. I really hope you get Neymar. Neymar is just a complete prima donna melter. I mean, he'd be your best player because Arsenal are shite, but you know, do you really want that? You've got Martinelli. You got obviously. Do you want him to upset the apple cart there, mate? I don't know. Be careful what you wish for there, Zane Miassi. The Brazilian connection. I wouldn't. If I was you, I wouldn't even want Neymar. He's an egomaniac type player. So I'll be honest, I haven't seen the link. I actually haven't seen the link. And the fact that you're even mentioning it in this chat is a little bit concerning because surely you realise when you do see that link that it's absolute complete hairy bollocks, mate. Do you know what I mean? There's no basis to that link whatsoever. No way would he go to a gash club like Arsenal for a start. And secondly, you shouldn't even want that guy. Plus, you couldn't afford him now. You literally couldn't afford his wages. You couldn't afford his anything for the guy now after you've paid for crappy Havertz and Declan Rice and these guys. So I think you're living in a Gooner world there, mate. Absolutely. Roddy Can't Game says, I let Primot down. I need to teabag someone today. You what? You what, Roddy Can't Game, mate? Dude. Are you... what's the matter with you? Dude, Roddy Can't Game. Steady on, son. Steady on there, bro. Bloody hell, lad. Crikey. Keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Keep it to yourself. Goodness me. Something about Arsenal fans today. They're off the tits. Absolutely off their tits. Thank you, Roddy Can't Game, for the super chat. But you what? Simon Cowie getting in here. Let's get some love hearts for Simon Cowie. He's just sent a 19.99 super chat there. I've got a tea leaf in my mouth there. That's not from a tea bag. Simon Cowie, thank you for the 19.99 super chat there, mate. Come on, let's get some raw Sues in the chat for him. He says, Pig, we can't let players leave because it will leave us short hand in areas. Because it'll be like this. 3 goalkeepers, 3 right backs, 7 centre backs, 3 left backs, 3 DMs, 3 centre mids, 3 attacking midfielders, 3 left wings, 3 right wings, 4 strikers. That's without Fred and with Amrabat, Højlund and Greenwood return. Bloody hell, you just went deep into that there, Simon Cowie. But, you know, why would that leave us short, though, in all fairness? So, you know, in the left wing position, we're not short there, like you say. We're still kind of short in the striker position. I still think we need to get a striker, but really, I guess you can manage with just Højlund up there because sometimes Rashford will play up there. Sometimes Martial will play up there. Maybe Greenwood gets brought back into the squad. Sometimes Sancho could maybe even do a job there. But obviously, Højlund would be a main striker, so we're probably not that short there, really. The right wing, we're not short. We got Anthony, Pellistri, Sancho. The central midfield is the only problem area, I suppose, where you could say we maybe shouldn't get rid of that many players because of what's happened now with Kobbie Mainoo getting an injury for a couple of months. If Kobbie Mainoo was still fit, I'd say sell both McTominay, Fred, and maybe even Donny van der Beek. But I see what you're saying, actually. You know, if you were to sell those 3 players, say, who are reportedly wanted by teams, West Ham to want McTominay, Fred's wanted by Fulham, Galatasaray and Saudi clubs, and it's reported that Real Sociedad are interested in Donny van der Beek. So those 3 players are up for sale. They could be sold. But if we sell all 3 of those players, I guess that would be the problem area for us, wouldn't it? Because we'd only have Mount, Bruno, Casemiro, Eriksen, Mainoo, and then, of course, if we were to sign Amrabat, and maybe that's not quite enough cover for the whole season and for all the different competitions. So, yeah, fair enough. But we should probably sell 2 out of those 3 players, though. Let me ask the chat, guys, if you could keep 1 player out of these 3 prospective sales, McTominay, Donny, or Fred, you have to keep 1. Who would you keep and why? So, for me, out of those 3 players, I personally would keep Fred. I know he's the one that's most likely to be sold at this moment in time. But I personally would keep Fred because Fred, I believe, is probably the best out of the bunch. But also, he's the cheapest, which means that he can generate the least amount of money for a sale. I think Donny you could probably get £20 million for. McTominay could probably get £30 million for. Whereas Fred, we'll be struggling to get 15 million plus for Fred, really. So for that reason, I'd keep Fred, because he's also reasonably versatile. I suppose you could play him. I don't like him as a holding midfielder, but you could play him there alongside Cassie or whatnot. And then he's all right sort of going forward when the defensive duties are not so on him. Plus, let's face it, he is a terrier out there. He does work really hard. He wins the ball back well. He's just got passing of an amputee, unfortunately. But other than that, he's actually a really good committed player. McTominay's consistently crap. Just never really rated McAverage at all. He's crap. And Donny van der Beek, he's never really had a fair crack at the whip, but he's just proven kind of to never really take his chances when he gets them, and it's unlikely he will be able to fight his way in the team. So he's back up at best. So I would sell Donny and McTominay, generate £50 million in an ideal world from those guys, keep Fred, and then go and buy Amrabat. That way we would have Fred, Amrabat, Ericsson, Mount, Bruno, Casemiro, and Mainu. Now that should be enough. So I still think we could sell 2 of those 3 midfielders we've got. And then in regards to the centre-backs, come on, we've got to be able to get rid of Maguire, because then we still have Lindelof, Luke Shaw can play there. Of course, we've got Johnny Evans at the club at the moment, Martinez, Varane, and hopefully we can go and sign another centre-back, maybe a good young prospect. So yeah, I feel you though. I mean, we can't sell that many players. And then Henderson, obviously. Henderson's saleable too, because we've got Onana, we've got Heaton, we've got Kovar, we've got some other goalkeepers as well, Bishop. So, we have got some options there, so we don't need to keep Henderson. So I think we could sell 3 players at least between now and the end of the window, which would be a couple of midfielders and Harry at least. And then beyond that, yeah, Martial can do one. And, Henderson can do one. 7 centre-backs means Slab is 7th choice. Yeah, about right. Keep Fred, says Nick. Keep Fred, says FCG. Hello, FCG. Donny says Real Killers. Fred had the most output. Yeah, I agree, Mark. Fred is everywhere. McTominay keeps, says United. Donny, says Jamie. Fred, says Johnny. Fred, says United 90. Fred, because he gives the game more intensity. Never had an issue with Fred's level of effort. It's only the level of performance which is an issue. Freddie sucks the least. That's how I feel as well. The big guy says Fred all day puts in the work. Yeah, plus he's the cheapest in terms of generating us cash. So if we want to reinvest and sign another baller player this summer, we should probably try and sell McTominay for 30 and probably try and sell Donny for 20 to Real Sociedad. That way we've got 50 million to put towards another beast. McTominay, Fred is gash, and so is Donny. Yeah, so is McTominay though. Fred says Super Fat Frank. The reality is none of them are good enough. But because of having maybe the odd injury issue at some point, I mean, if Kobbie Mainoo had stayed fit throughout pre-season, we might not be having this conversation right now. We might be saying sell the lot. But you do need a bit of depth in those central midfield areas. So I think it kind of may be a mistake to sell all of those 3 midfielders we just talked about. Probably best to keep at least one of them. But we may end up keeping more than that just to have extra cover. Fred says Kerry E. McSauce, you can't stand Fred, says Tad Bakes. Donny says Mr. U. Well, it's quite split in the live chat, to be fair. Ball control, Fred. I mean, if we're going for ball control, then Donny van der Beek's the best in terms of his passing and his control, etc. But, Chrissy says Donny, if he had a good season, he'll get us more money. Yeah, I suppose that's a good point as well. FCG says we've got 188 likes. Keep hitting the likes, guys. We're nearly at 200 likes. Thank you, everyone, for smashing that like button on it. Right, anyway, great chat there, guys. Let me get into the latest other information we've got here as well. Thank you, each and every one of you legends, for getting in. So, yeah, Henderson to Forest is still a possibility, of course, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, this is a story that's come out as well, as we were just talking about maybe Maguire leaving. So, obviously, we've got to wait and see if West Ham are prepared to come back for another bid, which is a big if. But there's a report here via Fabrizio Romano that says that Manchester United will target Axel Disasi if Maguire leaves, 24-year-old defender who plays in the French league. And, that's what I'm saying. We might be able to get rid of Maguire and get somebody else in. So even in terms of depth, selling these players who are on big money and who can generate some cash opens up the door and the possibility that United can go out there and sign another player or two. So, there's still a bit of hope that we might be able to add another player in there from somewhere in the team to get us a bit more depth. That would be nice. We've got a super chat. Apparently I've missed it. Hang on a second. Where is it? From Matty Norton, apparently. But thank you, Simon Cowie, for that, bro. Matt Norton, sorry, mate. There it is, dude. How did I miss that? I'm so sorry, Matt Norton. How you doing, Matty Norton? Get in there, lad. Guys, let's get some love hearts in there for Matt Norton. He's just sent a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, bro. He says, have to think as well, having Eriksson to mentor Højlund and ease his transition to the Premier League will be huge. I have to think Højlund looks up to him being a fellow Dane. Do you know what? I've never even thought about that. You're absolutely spot on, lad. He's got that Danish connection. Ooh, Danish friends. You know, Jamie Vardy vibes. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, Danish friends. Yeah, have to think of that as well. So that's a good point, actually. He'll have his fellow Dane there with him. Absolutely. That is a really good point. Good point, Matty Norton. Look, Eriksson's in the team on merit anyway. I know he wasn't very good in the last preseason game, but he has been really good for us, largely. He's only 32. Eriksson's a classy footballer. I'm very happy we've got Eriksson there. It gives us great quality and depth all of a sudden. So he's probably not first team or first team choice anymore. He is probably behind the likes of, you know, Mount, Bruno and Casemiro at this stage, seeing as Mount's just coming for 60 mil. But beyond that, it's Eriksson. Eriksson's the man to call upon, isn't he? And to come on later in games, control the play with his great passing ability, etc. He is somebody that's brilliant for the squad. And yeah, it's good that he's there actually for Højlund to help that sort of settling in period as well and to mentor him, like you say. So really good comment there. Sorry I missed that. Get in there, Matty Norton, my Don. The Great Danes. Well, yeah, United do have quite a good history of Danish players, don't we? Or I say that, but actually, it's just Schmeichel, isn't it? Is there any other Danish players we've had over the years? But Schmeichel, what an absolute legend of the football club. Is there any other? I'm just trying to think. Have we had any other Danish players other than Eriksson and Schmeichel over the years? I can't think now. I don't think so. Maybe. Anyway. So, yes, there you go. The Danish connection. Danish friends. Okay, so, oh, yes, but Olsen, says Duncan and Mark Egan. Fair play. Lord Bentner. All right, anyway. So, okay, guys. So, there's that. You know, maybe we'll be looking at Axel Disasi. It's a link that is not going away at this moment in time. There's other clubs interested in him as well, though. So, we'll have to wait and see about that. And just on Fred. So, a little bit more on the Fred situation. He is probably, for some reason, the most likely to go out at this moment in time. Which is a shame because, like I was just saying, if I could keep any of the midfielders as a backup, it would actually be Fred as opposed to McTominay or Donny. But this is from Fab as well. It says a move for Fred to Galatasaray is not yet guaranteed as there is no deal yet and other clubs are interested. A departure is crucial to make room for Sofyan Amrabat, for whom an offer has yet to arrive. So, by all accounts, there has been no official offer from Manchester United to Fiorentina for Sofyan Amrabat yet. We know that he's interested in joining Manchester United and has agreed to join us if we come in for him. But other than that, there's no, obviously, movement in terms of a transfer offer from Manchester United yet. So, the Fred deal is still on the table for him maybe going to Galatasaray. We could potentially generate 15 mil. We shouldn't sell him for any less than that. And I still don't think we should sell him unless we are going to obviously do some business and try and add some depth to our midfield. Certainly McTominay can generate more cash for us and is worse, if you ask me. So there you go. Fred is obviously probably the next player out the door, but you never know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And it means that a departure is crucial to make room for Sofyan Amrabat. So Amrabat, let's get on to Amrabat now, guys. Let's give you the latest Amrabat update. So obviously we know that Manchester United now will be turning our attentions to Sofyan Amrabat. Sofyan Amrabat's highest up next on the list for Ten Hag. That's who he wants to bring in. For many reasons, the technical player that he is, a bit of a bulldog, and he's just going to help our midfield with the ability to transition from, you know, from winning the ball back into attack because of his brilliant range of passing. He's a great long passer and the short passing's brilliant and everything. He's just a much better passer than most of the players we've got at the football club right now. So technically speaking, he will be a big improvement for us. And reports from Italy suggest that United and Fiorentina are set for direct talks over the transfer of Sofyan Amrabat tomorrow. So we'll see if that's coming very soon. But yes, we should now be turning our attentions to Sofyan Amrabat, probably in a region of about 35 million euros we might be able to sign this guy for. But knowing United, it might be a bit higher than that, maybe 40 million, but we should certainly go and get him for that. It's a good deal for us, really, when you consider how much we could generate from selling some of the guff bags we've currently got in the midfield. Amrabat is understood to want to come and play for Manchester United and want to play for Ten Hag, so that's not an issue. It would just be a case of obviously reaching that agreement with Fiorentina. So hopefully now that we've got the Højlund deal more or less done, we will turn our attentions to Sofyan. And we obviously heard from Fabrizio yesterday, who said that he's high up on the list. And now that Højlund's basically done, the intention from Manchester United was always to go in and to try and sign Sofyan Amrabat next from Fiorentina. So hopefully we see him come into United's midfield, because he would be an excellent player to help bolster options, give competition for places. Maybe he could even get in the first team. You know, people are talking about, oh, he may well just be coming into the squad. And I think that is true to begin with. But technically speaking, he's going to be very, very good for that midfield. And look, I'm not overly convinced about Mason Mount personally, just my own opinion. Never really rated him that high. Hopefully Ten Hag's got a big plan for Mason Mount, and Mason Mount's going to perform really well for United. But say he doesn't, then Sofyan Amrabat's there to come in. You can play Bruno in front, and then you've got Amrabat and Cassie in the pivot, mate. So it sounds like he would give us a heck of a lot of good options and the control, the passing ability, etc. that we need in midfield. So I'm just willing this to happen sooner rather than later. Don't know of a time frame, but probably once the medical's done and we've got Rasmus Højlund in here, perhaps like we've heard, we have to sell 1 or 2 players before we can justify going to spend that extra bit of cash on Sofyan Amrabat because of the amount we've already spent on players. It's approaching about £170 million now that we spent this summer transfer window. So if we go and get Amrabat, that will take our spending up to 200 million plus, which means that we kind of need to think about getting rid of some players before we can realistically go and add him. So that's where the club's at. We want to sell 1 or 2 players first before pursuing the Sofyan Amrabat transfer, just for monetary reasons. But there's no hiding the fact that we are really wanting him and that he is our next big target, and that's who Ten Hag wants to target next to bring into the club. So get in there, my son. Let's ask the live chat, guys. Yes or no? Will Sofyan Amrabat be a red come the end of this transfer window? Will Sofyan Amrabat be a red? I think he will. I think he will. He's obviously high on the list for United and Ten Hag. He's not even that much money based on a lot of the other signings that we've done. And he wants to come. He's agreed to join Manchester United should we be able to reach an agreement with Fiorentina. So I think that's pretty clear, really. We've obviously talked to him. We've obviously had the discussions. And he's a better player than most of the midfielders we've got right now. So a lot of people saying, yes, he will. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Gets in there. Yes, defo. Yes, 100%. Yes, yes, yes. Batistuta, what a player he was. What, you talk about Fiorentina players? Batistuta, Gabriel Batistuta, what a player, mate. One of my favourite strikers ever, really. In the 90s, he was at Don. And, yeah, Fiorentina were really good in the 90s, weren't they? Rui Costa, another one who used to play for them. Anyway, yes, get in there. Yes, yes. I used to watch Serie A back in the day just as much as the Premier League. When I was a kid growing up, then in the 90s, Serie A was the daddy of the leagues. It was the best league. It had all the best players in the world in the 90s. Obviously, the Premier League was great as well. But Serie A was the one. I used to watch Serie A a lot growing up as a kid in the 90s. It was amazing, but now it's shite. Rui Costa, what a player. Yeah, now it's shite. Back in the 90s, it was amazing. They literally had like 10 amazing teams. Like if the best English teams came up against one of those Italian teams in a European competition, there was 10 of them that could beat us. They literally were amazing. They had, all of their teams were good. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Fiorentina, Parma, Lazio, Napoli. They were like, all of those teams were just good. It was crazy. They were actually good teams. Anyway, Onana, Mount, Højlund, Amrabat. Interesting window. None excite me, but fair play, says T-Mill. You love Napoli in the 90s, Italy, says Eamon Barrett. When we were, yeah, Barry's another one. Barry, Udinese. Roma, exactly, Roma. Yeah, they had a lot of good teams. When we were young, Piggy, in the morning, Goalkeeper, exactly, mate, 100%. Dun, 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 dun. Mate, absolutely. That's what I grew up on, lad. United beat Juve on the way to winning the UCL in 99, which shows you the strength of the treble winning teams. Yeah, definitely, mate. Roy Keane inspired performance against Juve on the way as well. What a don. AC Milan, probably best team I've seen. Oh, that 90s AC Milan side with Maldini and Baresi and all those guys. Absolutely insane. Yeah, pretty awesome. Golazzo! Dun, 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 dun. Anyway. Too many top quality players in the Italian league to mention the 90s. Definitely. Definitely Roma or another good team as well. Right, okay then, guys. So, yeah, that's the latest news, really. I don't think there's anything too much more for me to cover, but let me just do a quick rundown very quickly of what we discussed. Go and give us a retweet. The tweet's pinned to the top of the live chat. It helps the show out. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's free to subscribe. quick rundown of what we discussed. Then I'll shout out the retweeters. Then we'll get into the Q&A for a bit of a chat, lads and lasses. So we are preparing talks at this moment, or preparing medicals and paperwork and things like that at the moment for Højlund. So Man United will start preparing documents and paperwork today in order to get Rasmus Højlund deal signed and sealed early next week. So hopefully Tuesday, Wednesday, we could see him a United player, and it's expected that the medical could be as early as tomorrow. He will fly in and have a medical, hopefully. I mean, actually, he was in England anyway, wasn't he, with the Atalanta squad, I believe. So, you know, who knows what's going on there, really. But early next week, Højlund already spoke more than 3 times to Ten Hag, and he's ready to sign until June 2028, plus an option until 2029. Pretty interesting stuff. We'll be getting him in very, very soon. Excellent. And the medical is expected to be soon, as I say. This is from Fab also last night, that just says that United are prepared to book medical for Rasmus Højlund, so that's coming. Amrabat next as well, obviously, is a big talking point. That's who we're expected to go for after Rasmus Højlund. So this is what Fab said. United's plan always has been clear. Priorities Rasmus Højlund, and then negotiations start for Amrabat. There is no official or verbal bid yet, though, to Fiorentina. But it's always had to happen after Højlund. Amrabat's keen on the move and well informed on United's plans. So there's the Amrabat deal after the Højlund medical and everything's been done. And obviously it is basically done, the Rasmus Højlund deal. It's a done deal. It's a done and dusted situation. And we're just awaiting for the medical, obviously, to take place. There should be no hiccups in the medical, and if there is no hiccups with the medical and the paperwork, etc., then he should be available to play for Manchester United for the Lens game at Old Trafford on the 5th of August, I believe it is. So, you know, pretty soon, quick turnaround, getting him signed in there. One thing I haven't even talked about, actually, guys, I forgot to mention, I mean, it's not big news from Man United's point of view, but there was one other story I wanted to talk about very quickly. I'll just do that now, which is David De Gea. David De Gea at this moment in time is wanted by a couple of Saudi teams. Fab said that De Gea will be a key part of the goalkeeper's domino in the next few days. He understands that he has 2 important bids from Saudi Arabia as talks are ongoing. Bayern also made contact with De Gea's camp 1 week ago. But you know, it seems like Raya was a priority target. By the way, have you seen that Arsenal were supposedly interested in signing David Raya as well? I mean, isn't it funny? The Arsenal fans giving it the old big un. Where's Zemiassi, eh? Where is he? Giving it the old big un about old shitty Ramsdale, said he's better than Onana and all this guff. Turns out they're trying to replace the twat. Or they could be. But that's just a rumour that I heard anyway. But anyway, yeah. So, so there you go. Raya is in talks, apparently, with various different clubs. Zane's in hiding, says Sing Games. Okay, and then also Henderson to Forest is still in the works, but it's known that they are actually trying to sign another goalkeeper as well at this moment in time. They will decide soon. Forest will sign only one goalkeeper this summer. It's between Matt Turner and Dean Henderson. Fab says that Forest have already asked Arsenal for final conditions of Turner deal, and it will be a permanent transfer. Perhaps the wages that Dean Henderson is actually on at United is stopping, you know, their desire to bring him in, and the initial transfer fee as well. So United may struggle to get the 20 million that we want for Dean Henderson, and he may have to go out on a loan to option with an option to buy basis just to get rid at this stage because of how much he's on. Also, Axel Disasi is reportedly a target for Manchester United. Take this with a pinch of salt. That's if Harry Maguire leaves. Finally, Amrabat, a little bit of information here as well. Talks will be taking place soon enough. It's understood that tomorrow, Man United and Fiorentina are set for direct talks over the transfer of Sofyan Amrabat. So hopefully that's the case. And then finally, we are still expecting that Fred is wanted by a few different clubs like Fulham, Galatasaray, and a couple of Saudi clubs. And that his departure is kind of crucial for Man United to go on and bring in another player, i.e. Sofyan Amrabat. So we're waiting for a player to be sold. Doesn't necessarily have to be Fred, but some player sales incoming first before we can really start committing to the Sofyan Amrabat transfer due to what we spent already. That's the latest transfer news, peeps. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me for the last hour and 9 minutes. You're a bunch of legends. Thanks, everyone, for getting in. What we're going to do now is have a Q&A, but before I do, I'm going to go over and retweet, shout out all the retweeters, so please do give us a retweet real quick. I'll shout you out. Let's go over to Twitter. Right then. So we have had a whole bunch of retweets, 14 retweets. Thank you, legends, for retweeting the show. Michael Paul, Feline Fur, Sin Games, United Mark, Mr. Sims, Boomy, The Butcher of Manchester, CZ Bam, Jaden, John Boy Cat, Paul Nangle, the Mario 55, G-Dad Gamer, and Kieran. And also one more we've had as well. Thank you every single one of you legends for retweeting us. I'm just Fabio. Thank you all you legends for retweeting the show. It does help us out and help spread the word, so appreciate that. Give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, all those places at Flying Pig United if you're not already. And you're a bunch of legends for retweeting the show. I do appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Q&A time. Right, before we do, smash that subscribe button. We're 14 away from 72.6k subscribers. Also, hit the likes on this video and help us get to 300 likes if you can. Don't know how many we're on right now. I think we just hit 200. So smash that like button if you haven't. Also, just to remind you, we're doing a watch along for the Dortmund game later. It's just after midnight. It's actually kick off at 2 a.m. UK time, which is filth. So, you know, give it 8 hours plus time and we'll be back on. We're going to do an evening transfer news show around about 10 p.m. anyway. But we will be doing the watch along for the Dortmund game in the wee hours of the morning. So if you legends are around, you know, please do come and join us for that. And I will actually get a link up for you for the stream so you can go and smash a cheeky little pre-game like on it. You know it makes sense. That will help us out big time as well with the watch along. So please go over at the end of this stream once this is finished and smash a cheeky little like on the Dortmund watch along, peeps. Should be an interesting one. Looking forward to it, actually. See what will happen there. Hopefully we have a good performance and I'll just bang it in there in the live chat. Sorry for the bouncy there. All right, let's see what the live chat got to say. Get your thoughts and opinions in now, you bunch of legends. Shout out to you all. The mighty Breaking Brigade, the Hamada. 3 a.m. for you, bloody hell. You'll be watching from the office. Nice one, Veg Dawn. Beautiful stuff. You have to learn from the last 2 times I stayed up late watching United. Well, fair enough, Ryan, you know. But we'll be on there anyway. Thanks for Højlund. Hopefully he'll be a good sign. And Viva Manchester, Ten Hag. Yes, indeed. Viva Ten Hag as well. Pig, if Maguire doesn't go to West Ham, where do you think Maguire will end up? On our bench, sadly, Joshua Whitfield getting 200 grand a week, which is why I think it's mad we weren't even prepared to accept 200k for the guy. Sorry, I mean 20 mil for the guy because he's on 200k. We could get rid of that twat pretty easy. Here's a question. Who should be Shaw's backup if Malacia is out? Alvaro Fernandez or Williams? Probably Alvaro Fernandez. Yeah, I'd probably say Alvaro Fernandez. Lad. He looks pretty good. He looked quite good in pre-season so far. You were surprised that Inter Milan isn't interested in signing De Gea for free? Yeah, I am too. But then again, you have to remember they were playing a certain way, weren't they? With Onana. And they got themselves to the Champions League final. And he was a part of that. He had the most clean sheets in the Champions League last season. Nobody had more than him. And plus, he plays that certain way that we've signed him for. I.e. the great distribution, the passing out from the back, all of that. So maybe they're looking for another player like that. But I do actually think they wanted David De Gea myself. I do think they wanted him, but his wage demand's just too high. He's pricing himself out of a move. It's a shame if he ends up going to Saudi for the money instead of going to Inter Milan, a great club. It is a shame. Disco Dave says, fact, 19 Premier League managers and their fans bent a fresh biscuit in their pants when Fabrizio's here we go for Højlund arrived. Haaland is yesterday's news. Bent a fresh biscuit in their pants. Goodness me. I love it. Need a good performance against Dortmund? Yes, we do. Need a bit of confidence. Want to see some good individual and a team performance. Yeah. Chelsea and PSG could be in for Amrabat says must play. Glue Factory says Bruce. Alvaro says Mark N. You would loan Fernandes to a Prem team this year. Interesting. Fair play. Well, yeah, he's not going to get hardly any game time at United, really. We've got, obviously, Luke Shaw and Malacia, who are going to be the main guys. The 90s, we had great players like Zidane, Rivaldo, Figo, Ronaldo, Raul, a young, unknown Messi. The 90s was the, in my opinion, the pinnacle of football. But obviously, nowadays, people would say, oh, it's moved on and it's improved. But I still think the 90s was the best. You had that perfect mix of tough players and also still some of the best players in the world. Probably maybe it's just nostalgia, but I feel like the 90s players were better. You know, maybe it is nostalgia, but there you go. They had to actually go up against proper defenders in the 90s as well. And also you could tackle in the 90s. Like you could still actually tackle. You know, like there was hard men, there was tough players. Now you can't breathe on someone, you get sent off. Done deal says Noble Army. Can we all sign a petition to send Slabby to the Ginger Goblin's cave? Great shout, Don Gungshilioni. That's what we need to do. I'll set one up on petition.org, lad. Why did Inter let Onana go? Because he wanted to join Man United and they received quite a nice bit of money for him. So, you know, those two things really. De Gea better than Onana 100%. Well, shot stopping wise, yes. Everywhere else, no. Maguire out, says Malps. You like Williams, but I saw that he does balloons and other drugs, so I'm disappointed. What other drugs, Ryan? Are you sure about that? I know he's been seen doing a balloon and stuff in his car outside, in a club once. But other drugs, you say other drugs. Don't know about that. Moyes wants Maguire 25 mil, take him, says United 90. Don't go jogging in the morning because I would just end up splashing coffee everywhere. Too expensive just to sit on the bench. Yeah, get rid of this guy. De Gea's a legend. Onana won nothing, says Arsenal Manic. De Gea's an actual legend of this football club. Yes, fair point. But sometimes you've got to allow the manager to build the squad that he wants. And clearly he wants to play a certain way. That's why he's got Onana. Different goalkeeper to De Gea altogether. Chelsea have signed Axel Disasi. What? There's an actual here we go on that, is there, Mark N? You what? I heard they were obviously sniffing around him and interested in him and had negotiations. But what do you mean? They've actually completed that now. You were signing it, says Ryan. People underestimate Onana's shot-stopping abilities. Oh, drinking and smoking. Okay, then fair enough. Well, so did Wayne Rooney, but he was still fucking awesome. So did Dimitar Berbatov. Coke? What? Brentford currently bending over Chelsea 2-0. That's bloody awesome. Oh, okay, I missed that then. Well, thank you, Mark N. So it's a done deal for Axel Disasi. Well, that's gash then, isn't it? It's not really that gash, though. We don't really need him. We've got, like, so many different defenders at the football club, really. That's our least worrisome area, I think. Obviously, we still want to sell Harry, maybe get a good young defender in. But that's our least worrisome area. We have got a bit of depth in those positions, really, if we're being honest, we have. Mikey says, United were at their best in the 90s and 2000s when both Serie A and La Liga were the top leagues. Now when the Premier's in the top league, we've been hindered by the Glazers. Imagine United back on top now. Oh, goodness. Imagine if we had Fergie and those players of the 90s at this club now. Goodness me, we'd be walking over everybody probably. Chelsea are well known for breaking players. They are indeed. Brentford owned us last season. Brentford are a good side, aren't they? Thomas Frank's no mug. He knows how to get them going. Disasi shite, says Danny B. Yeah, he's definitely unproven. You know, he's only been playing in the Farmers League. Chelsea fans got the wake-up call they need. Yeah, definitely. Was it 12th they finished last season in an absolute shambles? Braithwaite from Everton as a centre-back option, only 2021, I think, is a highly rated. Interesting. Massey says Chelsea have a brand new starting 11 every season. Joke club. Disco Dave says it's going to be hard to sell. Get rid of some of these players if only possible relegation teams are coming in for them. Well, that's it. It's going to be tough, isn't it? And it's the wages United pay these players that's the biggest problem. Vebjorn says, Vebjorn says, excuse me, Brentford 2, Aston Villa 0, not Chelsea. Nice one. Well, either way, respect to Brentford. I wonder how well Luton Town will do. I don't live far from Luton and it's a dump, says Emperor Jerome. I hope they do reasonably well. You know, I do hope they do reasonably well. It's a fairy tale story, that. Højlund, yes, love hearts for Højlund. Get in there. Bowley keeps playing FIFA Ultimate Team. Oh, Keno would be snapping people left, right and centre. Wish I know where Chelsea finished. My phone is only big enough to top 10 teams. Villa says, Mark, imagine what a transfer window would look like. A Qatari transfer window. Oh, it would probably be pretty insane. Chelsea signed players like they're collecting Pogs. Everton bought Danjuma. He's a good player. I've always rated him, actually. That's a good signing, lad. Very good signing. Luton Airport says, real killers. You once drove into Luton 6 a.m. on a weekday and some random drunk was walking middle of the road, cock out, having a piss. Bloody hell. You think if Villa has had a better transfer since must play? Do you reckon they're not gonna break? Is it Derby County has the lowest record? I don't know. Derby County, I remember they were the whipping boys for a long time that season. Mikey, get in there, my son. Luton might be done, but it's home. Oh, well, there you go. Nothing wrong with your hometown, lad. Guys, we're going to wrap this video up then, but it's been a great stream. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here and listening to the latest transfer news. We'll be back on around about 9:45 or 10 p.m. tonight with the latest evening transfer news as well and giving you the latest lowdown. Maybe we'll find out more when perhaps the medical will be actually scheduled for, and perhaps maybe some Amrabat news or anything else. Perhaps transfer offers coming in to players for players from Manchester United, hopefully. So we'll keep you posted with the evening transfer news. What we're doing on this channel at the moment is afternoon shows around about 3 or 4 p.m. and evening shows around about 9 or 10 p.m. as a minimum. And then we cover any breaking news as well. And of course, we're also going to be on for the watch along peeps, which is on at 1:30 a.m. UK time, 1:30 a.m. There it is in the live chat. So do us a favour at the end of this stream. Please go over to the watch along and smash a cheeky little like on the video, because that will help us out to, boost up on the YouTube algorithm or whatever. Thank you, BKU. Thank you, FCG. Thank you, Vibjorn. Thank you, everyone, for getting in here. Raw. Paul Liebenberg, get in there, my son. Emperor Jerome. Eamon, United We Stand, must play. Great chat, everyone, and great stream. Thanks for getting in. Thanks, everyone who smashed the like button. Make sure you do smash that like button before you go. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Mark. Gungshi, you legend, get in there. Yes, see you later on, everybody, for the watch along. Come and join us. 2 a.m. peeps. 2 a.m. we'll be there. Actually, we'll be on at 1:30 a.m.-ish, a little bit before. So come and join us. Thank you very much, the Hoot Man. Thank you, Duncan, Danny B, K and Joey, Mikey, Real Killers, Boomy, Emperor Jerome, everybody else as well. You know, thank you so much. See you for the watch along against Dortmund, and we will be back on about 10 p.m. UK time with the latest news. Both, actually, Ryan will be doing the news and the game this evening. Cheers, guys. See you for the game and the watch-along, peeps. Much love. Thanks to all the moderators again in blue for moderating the chat. Thank you all the members in green like Ryan for supporting the show and being members. And thank you everybody else for getting in the live chat and having your say. That's it from me. There's the latest news. Come back after this video is finished. Get your thoughts and opinions in about Højlund or anything we've discussed in this video and have your say. Also, check out the links in the description for the Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch and Kick. All the same at Flying Pig United. Check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. That's the latest news, guys. Thanks so much. Thank you, Mark Egan, Sing Games, Hootman, Ryan, everybody else, all the legends in the chat. Thanks for interacting with me and everyone else. Great community of legends. See you later, guys. That's it from me. Have a good one. Back at 10 p.m. for United News. And come on, United against Dortmund tonight. Go smash a like on the watch along. It's pinned to the top. See you then. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.